We may share this with other people. Okay, today we'll discuss the services in the OpenStack. So we should last time when I discussed the basics of cloud and OpenStack, I provided the information for about the history from where the cloud came in and why OpenStack was created and how we can use it. Today we'll deep dive into the services. The names are the most important thing. So here some of the names has been changed from the past, and we should be able to recognize from the name what service we are talking about. So let's start with it. In this particular PPT, I have provided my contact information, my email address. So if you have any questions, you may reach me on the provided email address. Um, So OpenStack. Now OpenStack have 9 services actually. So these are the names of the 9 services. You're looking into the picture. Are you able to see the slide?
Yes,
So we have Nova, Keystone, Center, Swift, Horizon, Heat, Glance, Neutron, Silometer, Trove, and Sahara. These are 3 optional services. If you want to meterize the things, then you will use Silometer or something else. There are many more services that can be integrated to OpenStack, but these are the important ones that were created for OpenStack as an that those are part of OpenStack as primary services. So we will um, uh, divide these services into 2 main categories. One is the core services. The other one we will say the shared ones. So we have two glances of services or two two broad categories of services. So compute is the most important thing. You need compute to um, um, create the logical or the virtual servers and make it usable by providing access to different other services. So compute is the most important service we should know about. Now in OpenStack era, when you use OpenStack, it is known as Nova. So compute is the basic word, and I used it for the concept. Nova is the actual OpenStack term we will use going further. Networking. For networking is the internal network. Like the APIs of OpenStack are connected with each other. They are communicating with each other, and we will create a virtual network using different switches and other things. So all of those networking things which are part of virtual network will become the part of networking. So here, the net in OpenStack, it was named as Quantum, but Quantum is already a registered company, so they had to change the name to Neutron. After that, we have an object store, which is used to store the unmanaged information or unmanaged data. So that is known as Swift here. So and then we have block storage, which is known as Cinder here. I think we all know what is block storage, right? Actually, block storage, what it is known as Blob in Azure, Microsoft Azure. If you know Microsoft Azure, um, block storage is a container. All the storage is divided into different containers, and there is a minimal capacity of per container, and whatever your data is, irrespective of its differentiation, it acts it is saved into a particular capacity, divided into a particular capacity. So that every container has some, your file may be in 3 different containers, and every container has a fixed capacity. So that is why it is known as block storage. Then we have image services. Now, image processing is a different service in OpenStack altogether. So we have image services, which is known as glance. Then we have identity. We all know that every software has uh, user ID and password to identify
Hello.
a user. So here, the service that will provide um, that process for OpenStack is known as Keystone. So Nova Quantum is changed to Neutron, Swift, Cinder, Lance, Keystone. Okay, these are the terms for OpenStack. We have to memorize it. Even it takes time to memorize. So if you use it daily, you will memorize it. What is it? So dashboard is the GUI for OpenStack, which is known as horizon in OpenStack. Metering services, Silometer. I told you here when we discuss the services on the first screen, there are three: Silometer, Trove, and Sahara. Silometer is the metering services. As metering service means it has it will help you to meet to provide the bills to the customer. So it will calculate what is what are the services that your customer has used, and accordingly you will you will provide it will provide the automized bill to him. um, Orchestration services. Orchestration, we all know it is a management API that which is used to manage different resources. So in OpenStack you have heat as a service which is used for orchestrating the things. So I'll discuss all these services one by one, but I just wanted to give you a heads on that these are the services that and their names as per OpenStack, because they are different as we use uh, till till now, whatever the terms we have used. So we have to memorize it. So Nova, it is a service under which you will create the virtual machines using bare metal servers through it has a compute platform. Your all compute platform will come into Nova. Whatever your Zen servers are, whatever your if you have a ESX server, if you have a Hyper-V, whatever your or your whatever your management tools for the servers are there in your infrastructure, all will go into the single service called Nova. So I have provided some text here. So there is one important thing about Nova is also dependent on three different services. It requires a basic function from Keystone, Glance, Neutron. Now, why Keystone, Glance, and Neutron? I'll make you understand about Keystone, about Glance and Neutron in further slides. But Keystone, because you have to when you provide access to your server, you have to authenticate the client. So Keystone is the services that authenticates in OpenStack. In while well Neutron is an API which is used to um, just give me a minute. Yeah, here you will have all your networking things, your layer 2 routers, your layer 3 routers, your internal um, virtual switches, whatever that is required for networking between the VMs or the internal virtual infrastructure for OpenStack. There is one more important thing here. There are more services that have been built recently in OpenStack. We will cover those also in coming future. But this information is as per the previous release of OpenStack, previous release of services. So maybe some of the difference there would be some differences when you read more on the internet, or there is an OpenStack open information site. I'll provide you the link for those websites as well. Swift. You have a Swift network. Swift network is an object management store. It all your object related services or the images or the data will be saved here. So now you have seen there are multiple um, um, platforms coming into the market to manage the data as an object. We always have saved in the past. We always have saved data as a block, as a file, but we never saved it as an object. But now we can save data as an object. So this is altogether a different terminology for the object, for the data. And there are multiple storage units that are available currently in the market to save such data. One of I'll name one. Hitachi Content Platform is one of the object platform that has that is by Hitachi Data Systems. So they use in that the terminology is content, but it is an object storage actually. So nothing has changed. The concept is still the same. The capacity, rather to divide the capacity in the block sizes, we will divide the capacity as per the object. Now, say there is a word file for 20. There is a 20 MB word file, right? We have not, when we used to save the file in an block storage, we used to capture that into block. So each block may have one third of the file, and there would be multiple blocks where the files have been saved. Now in object storage, the concept is different. Your hard drives are put into the object storage, and all the capacity is like a lake to it. So what happens is, when you save a data, it never asks the storage to save the data into a block. It asks the capacity of an object, use the capacity of an object, and then save it. So your single file, your single object has particular capacity, and that particular capacity will be saved. This has provided us two important concepts. One, in terms of compression, it gave us an advantage that we can the compression when the compression runs on a block storage, there is always some capacity that is free in the block. Now when we are using the object storage, there is no free capacity. Your compression rate increases. So what happens is, earlier on the block storage, when we put 20 MB of data, the compression rate was 10%. Now when we put the same data to an object storage and compressed it, it compressed to 30 or 40% more than the block storage. That is the main main importance, or that is the main importance of using object storage. Why object storage came into existence. I wanted to give a little um, difference between block and object storage, because some people don't understand what is object and what is block. Sender. Uh, Now Sender, we this Swift was an object storage, and Sender is a block storage. Now if you have two two units of block storage and 2 units of object storage, your object storage will go to Swift. Your block storage will come under Cinder. So we have OpenStack is a layered architecture. So everything is divided into different layers. It Every layer is providing a different functionality in OpenStack. So Cinder will provide you the functionality for block storage. Your all block storage capacity will come under Cinder. If you see the GUI of OpenStack, you will go under Cinder to find out what is the exact capacity available for block storage. Now in Cinder, there are I provided little concept. I know it is too early to discuss this, but I had to give an example. So I use this example. When you provide a when you want to use a Cinder, you can do two things. Number one, you can provide a capacity through LVM. So you have no direct resource to provide the capacity. You need to create a VM or LVM or something, some object or some service to which can use the block storage, and then through that service you can provide it to the client, or how, or the way you want to use it. It all depends on your design. When you will start designing the project for OpenStack, these all things will become part of it. I'll discuss all these things in deeper once we are comfortable with the basic concept. So you have an API for Cinder, you have an API for your Swift, you have an API for everything here. When we talk about object storage, block storage, and any kind of storage, even filers and all, every company has created their own API for to integrate with OpenStack. So you should know what storage you are using, and do you have an API for it. So to make a communication between OpenStack and that storage or the filer, you need to install that API and make the communication happen. So I just covered this part. Um, I don't wanted to overload this slide, because if I put too much of information here, I that would be that would be very difficult to make you guys understand. So again, I'll repeat: compute your compute layer is known as Nova. Your network, all your network things, or the network layer in OpenStack is known as Neutron. Object storage is Swift. Block storage is Cinder. Image services, you have a, if you want to um, have a image processing system in your company, or you are gonna use image processing system in your project, then it is the glance service that you where you will put the image services. So your identification or the credential authorization will be under Keystone. For OpenStack GUI, you will use Horizon. Metering services, we normally use Silometer. It is the best. I have used till date, my and I like it. Orchestration services is known as Heat. I want you guys to understand this. If you already understand, it's well and good. For others, they have to understand and learn what is it. If you have any questions, please ask now. Are you guys able to hear me? Sorry, I was not able to hear you. Your voice is breaking. Hello, guys. If you are speaking, you're speaking on mute. No questions? You can text me a question if you want. Maybe. Okay. Okay, guys. Yeah. If I'm not able to hear you, you can push the question through Telegram. Just put the questions there. I'll answer it. Yeah, I'll provide the recording to you guys. I'll put it on my company's website. I'll put it on YouTube, and I'll put it on a LinkedIn group as well. So I'll provide all the three links to you guys.
Okay, fine. Thanks.
Okay, guys, I'll just stop the session here. Thank you for joining, and we'll keep on discussing further on this. And okay, one thing more. I want can someone help me with if they want to take some topic and they want to research on it and they want to discuss, please keep me updated because I want you guys to discuss and to research on the services and create your own presentation and then discuss with me if you like, and from there we can count on what needs more discussion and what needs less discussion. That way it would be easy for me to understand where I need to stress more. Yeah, that would be help.
Sure, Kunal. I will try to work on that.
Sure. Thank you, guys. I'm stopping this meeting. I'm stopping the recording first.